For decades, we've seen Illinois struggle, debt skyrocketing, pension liability at levels we will never be able to afford, taxes absurdly high, with the majority party seeking to make them higher. And now today, a global pandemic has taken too many lives, affected too many families, and has put 1.2 million Illinoisans out of work, wondering what they will do next. 1.2 million people, our friends, neighbors, family members, fellow Illinoisans. 1.2 million people who are desperate now, and it will only get worse when the jobs that were here don't come back. I stand here today to tell those 1.2 million people and all fellow residents that the General Assembly has done today is the same old song and dance, the same movie you've watched 20 times before and you know every line. Now let's go back a little bit. Remember those campaign promises from the past? I remember them. I've seen them. Redistricting reform, fair maps. That's a real popular one. We need to reform the property tax system. Yes, the tax that strangles the middle class. Yeah. Reform the state pension systems. And yes, even this year, we're going to give Illinois citizens a $9 billion kiss because of our inability to make a meaningful attempt to rein in those costs. Oh, here's another one. Here's a real beauty. Remember a couple months ago, we were talking about ethics, the way in which we conduct our business? Well, it was just a few months ago where the names of Luis Arroyo and Martin Sandoval brought out so much angst, anger, and disdain from all of us for their corrupt practices through extortion, through bribery, and just as bad, the manipulation of the legislative process from the scandalous red light camera ban. What happened, ladies and gentlemen of the General Assembly? We never came close to any of these. Not one word has been spoken about those issues in these days down here. So I guess the question I have is, what's the point of having your majority? Only thing I take from this is that I presume there is no intent, never was, any will on behalf of the Democrat majority to take up these reforms. Never mind the campaign promises have been made year in and year out on exactly every one of these issues. Nothing for our citizens, no glimmer of hope for us to do the right thing. But here we are today, Illinois is pushed to the cliff by all the issues we have been talking about for years, and by a virus that showed up in Illinois only back in January. The ruling party in this state has forgotten that we are here to serve the people and not make them bend to their will. While 1.2 million of our citizens who we serve are out of work, I'm just blown away by this, that the Democrats in the House and the Senate found a way to slip into this bill a legislative pay raise because we have not proactively banned the COLA. I don't care what would happen in the Senate or what type of agreement was between the comptroller and some people over there. That is a legal obligation on behalf of the comptroller. So congratulations, we're getting a pay raise. Sounds great? How's that sound to those restaurant owners and their employees who, through a stroke of a pen about 2 months ago, lost their livelihoods? The audacity for the legislature to accept a pay raise at this time in this history of the state, it's insulting. It's insulting to those 1.2 million Illinoisans, those poor souls who are struggling just to try to find a way to keep their lights on, to feed their kids. We haven't done anything for them, but we sure as heck took care of ourselves. So, ladies and gentlemen, when we leave here tonight, it's obvious that the work that we should be doing is not over. The failures of this government will be on full display for the months and sadly decades to come. Let me just remind you that all of us here, we take oaths as members of the legislature, and we were reminded that we are a co-equal branch of government. We talked about a lot of that lately. We have a system called checks and balances, and I would say that's the greatest system that we've inherited from the framers. Checks and balances in government was developed to ensure that no branch of government would become too powerful. Sadly, that is what we've done today and yesterday. We've not done our jobs. We have abdicated our responsibilities, and it's unfortunate. There was a comment made a little bit earlier about people are suffering. Yes, they are suffering right now. But I got some news for you. The people in this state have been suffering for a long time, and it will continue, and they will continue to suffer after tonight. And yes, even after when the vaccination has been delivered, they will continue to suffer because the legislature looks in the other direction on the most pressing, the most important issues that face us.